and Archana felt reassured. But the same Arun, in the next scene, when Sylvia came sounding very enthusiastic, he sort of took away the enthusiasm by being negative about it. And of course, the monkey scene. Because there are rules governing these suggestions. If I give you a negative suggestion, I know that the opposite will be planted in your mind. For example, please don't think of an elephant. What comes to your mind? Well, an elephant, of course. And so it goes. A good politician uses this idea to his advantage. During election, he announces, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to tell you that the opponent is corrupt. And by saying this, he's planted the idea in the listener's mind that the opponent is corrupt. And listening, again, is a very, very crucial aspect of communication. There are different types of listening. Critical listening, non-directive listening, and listening for recall.
I'll tell you why we stopped buying from your company. Your last consignment was a bundle of junk.
How can that be possible? We checked every single piece before sending it.
Are you calling me a liar?
No, but I don't think it's possible.
Well, then I'll have to reconsider our contract.
No, but we haven't received any complaint from anyone else.
See, I'm not concerned about others, but certainly I feel we'll have to consider our contract once again.
Hello, Mrs. Tiwari.
Hello?
You seem very upset. Can you tell us what's happened?
Yes. Firstly, the goods came late. And then I found their labels were wrong. I must admit, in most of the cases, you have given us quality product, but certainly not this time.
I'm very glad to know that in most cases you have been satisfied. And I'm very distressed that this time we have failed you. But Mrs. Tiwari, I'm sure you'll agree with me that you too would be distressed if your client was unhappy. Let's discuss the situation and see how we can improve it.
Well, I'm open to all discussions.
You know, it's amazing the way you handled Mrs. Tiwari. The way you were talking to her, it was absolutely amazing. It happened to me once. I tried to talk to her, but she just flared up. She didn't listen to me.
You see, you must know the problem before tackling it. And if you're not a good listener, then you'll never know what the problem is. And the initial step in communicating is thorough, skillful questioning.
You believe it's very important to be a good listener?
Certainly, you must be a good listener, but not an impulsive listener, because that can create havoc.
Talking about impulsive listening, it reminds me of our Sylvia. One day, you don't know what she did.
What?
Hello? Oh, hi, Sylvia.
Hi, Radha. How are you? You know, my poor dog is ill.
I'm sorry to hear your dog's ill.
Your dog was ill recently, na? What did you give it?
Yes, my dog Flint was ill too. I gave him turpentine.
Turpentine? Oh, great.
Hello? Sylvia, listen. Funny girl. Put the phone down without hearing the whole thing.
Hello, Radha. You know what?
Hello? Is that you, Sylvia? What happened?
My dog died after giving it turpentine, as you said.
What do you think happened to my dog? She died too.
What?
You know, Arun, I think one must be a good listener. You could even say that it pays to listen. You know Mr. Das, our insurance agent? He's never at a loss, always listening for cues. And he's so alert that he never once misses out on an opportunity.
Good evening, sir. I am Mr. Das, as insurance agent.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Das. I believe my entire office staff is under your wings, all except me.
That's right.
My policies are taken care of by a friend who lives in Bangalore.
Bangalore? Is it not better to have someone here? It is so convenient for you and your family members. We are always at your services, Mr. Gurunath.
I just spoke of 3 types of listening. Listening for recall, critical listening, and non-directive listening. In the scene with Sylvia and Mrs. Tiwari, what we have and what is required is non-directive listening on the part of Sylvia. Mrs. Tiwari just wants to be heard. Archana realizes this. She intervenes and solves the problem. In the scene with Radha and Sylvia, again, Sylvia impulsively responds. And you saw what happened? In the scene with Das, we have different kind of listening. The needs are met, the deal is closed. Now, listening is an important aspect of the process of communication. Research suggests that we spend about 45% of our time listening in the process of communication. And I'm speaking of average person. And that requires that we become better listeners. Now, how do we do it? Well, you can become a better listener by being non-defensive, by being mentally and physically healthy, by being empathetic, by minimizing interruption, and by minimizing distractions. Because listening is a very crucial thing in the total process of communication, because that is where the receiver comes in. And you as a communicator also play an important role in the process of listening, because if you say something inaudibly, it will hamper the listening.
Arun, did you see how Das picked up the cue of boss's agent being in Bangalore?
That's right. That means if one is listening, one picks up cues. But if one isn't listening, then one doesn't know what one's in for.
Correct.
Like that time, my peon. Hey Mukesh, just remember to get the bouquet for tomorrow night's party. Ah, yes, I'm feeling funny feel. Wonderful. I feel, you feel, I feel.
Arun, it's your turn next.
Oh God, where's my bouquet? Mukesh. Mukesh. Where's my bouquet? Bouquet. Oh gosh, when I said bouquet, he must have heard buffet.
It's been a pleasure.
In the case of Mukesh, one very crucial step was ignored, and that is asking for feedback or doing a follow-up. You see, you have to be audible so you can help the process of communication as well as the listener. But you also, whenever possible, have to ask for feedback, because that will complete the loop of the process of communication that I spoke about during introduction. Now you can also see feedback in the postures, gestures of the listeners. You can observe it in his eye movements. And these are the subtle things about the process of communication that you also have to master.
What is all this, Professor? I thought I had become quite an expert at communication. But now I'm hearing all about facial expressions, body postures, other gestures. What is all this?
Well, Arun, I told you the process is very complicated. See, body language are the non-verbal signals, or what is known as sub rosa meanings, kinesics. These body language signals are also an integral part of the process of communication. And if you want to be a master, you must master them as well. But let's wait. Take a short break. And you too.